Your journey to knowledge. Step into the Library of Tomorrow. Here, where the wisdom of ages lingers in the air, guardians from far-flung worlds have left their marks, their legacies bound to this sacred place. Yet all of this is but a glimpse of what lies ahead. A force unseen connects them all. At the heart of their strength lies an ancient relic, the Book of Wisdom. Now, a new chapter unfolds as we turn the page and reveal the sages of our age. And with them, the answers you seek. Fellow travelers, please welcome to the stage, Dominic Sherwood.
Very cool.
Yes, thank you.
Cool. Thank you. Hi everybody, how's everyone doing? Good, great. So this side wins so far. It's not a competition yet, but so far you guys are winning.
Welcome, Dominic. Welcome to Belgium.
Thank you for having me.
Our pleasure. Is it your first time in Belgium?
It's not my first time in Belgium. It's my first time in I don't want to say it wrong, Ghent?
Ghent, perfect.
It's my first time in Ghent, but I've been to Belgium a few times before. Big fan of the chocolate.
Not the beer, right? You don't like beer.
No. Yeah.
Anything that strikes you as being specific or peculiar about Belgium or Belgians?
You already put me on the spot.
Yes.
Okay. We spoke about this yesterday. The hotel and the architecture in the city is really stunning, and I'm looking forward to exploring that a little more this evening. And also the people here are so friendly. Everyone's so lovely. So I'm having a really nice time, and I feel honoured to have been invited.
We're honoured that you accepted our invitation. Now, when I was in the UK, there was a famous drinking game, which was name 3 famous Belgians.
Okay.
So can you name 3 famous Belgians?
See, and we spoke about this yesterday, didn't we? And you said do some homework.
Yes.
And I didn't. So I didn't do any. Oh no! I don't think I can.
Hint, if you're a soccer fan.
I'm not.
Oh fuck.
I'm not. I know. But I'm glad you swore, so I know that I'm allowed to swear. Are there any kids here?
No, no
yeah.
kids.
Yep.
No. You can swear. I mean, if you would be a soccer fan, Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku. Okay, I have a
Kevin De Bruyne, Romelu Lukaku. Yeah, those are my favorites.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme, of course. Yeah, everyone, the famous Belgian martial artist, everyone knows.
All right, good.
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
And if you're a fan of music, if you like saxophone,
yeah,
the instrument that was made by a Belgian, Adolf Sax, hence the name.
No way. Is that true?
Yeah, it's true, honestly.
Everyone knows I feel like such an idiot. I'm learning stuff. Cool, good to know.
So tomorrow I will ask you the same question.
Okay. And now I know Jean-Claude Van Damme, the guy who made the saxophone, and those 2 soccer players that were singing
I probably will say you can't name those 4, so you'll find other names.
Tonight I will do some homework.
Yeah. Sometimes we have guests from very specific countries, and then I will usually ask them, what are the 3 most famous people from your country? Obviously, you being a Brit, you've got I will not swear, a whole load of people you could choose from. But who, in your eyes, would be the 3 most famous British people?
Wow. This is going to be embarrassing because the first one that comes to my head is a soccer player. Really embarrassing, but I would say David Beckham is pretty up there on the list. The King.
All right.
Like the King's got to be one, right? And Shakespeare.
All right. Have you met any of those? Well, Shakespeare, that would be.
No, here's hoping. One day. No, I haven't. I think I was at an event once and David Beckham was there, so I got to sort of see him at a distance, but that's it.
So
maybe I haven't. The King. This is something that you should remember, and I don't. I used to do. I have been lucky enough to perform at the Youth Royal Variety performance. I've done that twice now, actually, many years ago, and he wasn't the King yet, but I think he was there.
Okay, so you smell the air.
Yeah, it's really
all
the
right.
same. Yeah, in the same atmosphere.
Now, obviously, you're an actor.
Yes.
And what would you say is like one perk of being an actor?
You mean other than the free shit, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And the money and the women
money.
who throw themselves
Yeah.
at your feet. And
Yeah. I honestly, things like this are a really cool. Yeah, I get to travel. I get to meet really cool people. I get you guys coming up saying you enjoy what I do, which really strokes my ego, which is lovely for me. And I get to see new areas of the world that maybe I wouldn't have done necessarily without this. So for me, that's a really lovely thing to add as an accolade to my career.
now, what would be the most unexpected thing from being an actor?
Okay, I have one for this. You maybe cover your ears. Okay, and I don't know if this person is here. It's possible, but okay. Sometimes we get gifts, which is lovely and a really sweet, touching thing to do. Is this person here? Because if they are, I think they know where this story's going. I once had a doll knitted for me of me, which was cool. And as this person was leaving, they told me that it was anatomically correct, and I was like, oh, okay. I don't know what that means. And then, seriously, cover your ears. And later on, it had trousers on, and I took them down because I was curious, and she had a dick. And that was pretty unexpected, I'll tell you that much. That was odd. So I'm so sorry. Not paying attention, so we're good. We're in a good spot. But yeah, that was unexpected to say the least.
And how anatomically correct was it?
It was tiny. It was exactly right. Yeah, it was perfect. I don't know how she knew. It was a bit annoying actually. It was a cold day.
Cold water, yes,
Yeah,
cold shower.
yeah.
It happens to the best of us.
Yeah.
I heard. If you cover his ears, please.
It's all David's very polite, so it's all good.
If you would have been an actor, what would you have liked to be?
All right, Dad. Jesus. It's the only thing I'm good at. Like, it's the only thing I can do. And I knew that I wanted to be an actor from a very, very young age. I was, I think, 5 when I told my parents that that's what I wanted to do. And as a result, I was a terrible student. I was horrible in school because I was going to be an actor. That's just what I was going to do. I don't need maths because I'm going to be an actor. It turns out maths is super important. Things like taxes that you have to do, and nobody teaches you any of that. But that's all I've ever really wanted to do, except for I think a brief stint when I was like 2 or 3 years old, where I wanted to be an airplane. But that's it.
Not a pilot, an airplane.
An actual airplane is what I wanted to be. Yeah. But that's acting it's the only thing I've ever wanted to do with my life.
Now, you telling this, me being a dad, I can imagine your parents when you said when you were 5, I want to be an actor. They were going like, yeah, right on it.
Yeah.
Do you now something have like my "I told you so" gland is working over?
No, I never really needed to. My parents have always been incredibly supportive. My dad is kind of in the industry. He's in post-production. My dad has always been very like, it is going to be difficult, but if this is what you want to do, we'll support you through it. And my mum the same. They've all supported me and supported my decision for as far back as I can remember, my whole life. So I've never needed to turn around and say, told you I'd do it. There are a few teachers that I've bumped into since who did say, maybe get another career, and I was like, fuck you. Look at me now. One in particular actually who really hated me, and she's going to remain nameless, or he, really, really nameless, and was a fan of Shadowhunters. And I bumped into this person a couple years afterwards, and he asked for a photo. And I said, yeah, of course. Yeah.
Wow, you've been gracious.
It's the smuggest smile I've ever taken in a photo. I'd say, yeah, that was a nice moment for me.
Which is, yeah, it's cool that your parents supported you and everything. Are they like telling all their friends like, our son?
Sometimes, yeah. My grandmother is the worst. If I'm honest, she's the worst at that. She'll like, we'll be in the doctor's office, and it's like, my grandson's an actor, and I don't care. I'm taking your blood pressure. Like, I don't care. I'm like, stop. But no, I don't. I think one of the caveats of doing this job is trying to isolate your professional life and your personal life, and keep some version of privacy where it's important to you. And I think my parents are very respectful of that. So they try and separate it. And if it comes up, of course, yes, that's my son. We're very proud of him. Blah blah blah. But in the outset, I don't think they advertise me particularly, which is very conscientious of them.
I can imagine. Talking about that and being famous and everything, I mean, I don't know if you've ever been on Tinder or Grindr or what have you, I don't care. But I can imagine if somebody like you is on there, that people would say like, yeah, right, catfishing.
So I have done Tinder, and what normally happens is I get reported. Because they say you're using an actor's profile as your profile. I'm like, no, it's me. It's me. I'm actually, but you can't, I can't prove that. And also it's difficult because I've had these issues with people using a fake profile of mine in the past, and the internet can be a dangerous place. So I understand, and it's a good thing that they are so cautious of these,
never mind.
I don't know what happened there. I'm glad that they're cautious about it, but yeah, the handful of times I've used Tinder or Bumble or whatever it was, I'm on for 2 days and my account gets flagged, and that's it.
So you never got a date out of Tinder?
I've never had a date from Tinder, no.
Okay.
Never.
So okay. So if anybody sees you on Tinder,
that's not me. Yeah, that's not me. Please don't connect with that person.
Now you've been acting for how many years approximately?
Oh wow, getting close to 15 years.
Okay, what has changed most in those 15 years?
My bank account, probably. Really
in a good sense, or?
Yeah, it really sort of does this. Depends on the year. I think interestingly, like levels of confidence change and actually do fluctuate. It's a really interesting thing where I can feel wildly confident and the most myself, but at the same time very insecure about whether it's a performance or things like this. I still get very nervous for, and there's no need. Everyone's been lovely, but you're all staring at me, and it's a scary thing to do, So sometimes I'm like sort of reach these peaks of confidence and drop into these little valleys of sort of anxiety, and that. I mean, maybe that was going to happen to me anyway. I don't know, because I haven't done anything else, but I've noticed over the last 15 years that has been a real sort of fluctuation in me.
I like the way when you talk about your confidence, you go like flexing the muscles, like, I'm not confident, but have you been working out? Now, just a question. Does anybody agree that when Dominic smiles or laughs, he has a certain Henry Cavill kind of vibe? The mouth is... Who agrees? Okay.
Thanks. That's my mum, actually, right there. That's why we bring her. Thanks, mum.
Okay. That is a compliment.
Thank you.
For Henry, obviously. If you could have chosen any role whatsoever which has been played in any movie or any TV series, which one would you have liked to play?
Man, what a question. I think most male British actors have a similar answer. I want to play Bond. One day I would love to play Bond, but it's so does everyone. So it's like a tricky thing to do. I think there are more sort of amorphous things that I would like to do, like something Lord of the Rings based would be incredible, and I think anyone would be honoured to be a part of something so amazing. And like the kid in me is like, play an astronaut and a cowboy and then play an army man or like that sort of stuff. So like those things I would like to tick off my sort of bucket list of characters to play for sure. But honestly, anything that's like, Shadowhunters was a real dream role for this, because it's like sword fighting and you'd save the girl and like you're a hero and whatever. So anything, like the only thing that was missing from that was like riding a horse, which that would have been amazing also. But yeah, I think I'm just working my way through the list slowly.
You mentioned Lord of the Rings.
Yes.
And there's a famous, you can find it on YouTube, it's Ian McKellen,
yeah,
who's sitting in one of the Hobbit rooms and it's all green screen, and he starts crying saying, I didn't study to become an actor just to be surrounded by green screen. So, how about yourself? Do you make any difference between green screen or live acting, or?
I have. Green screen, you have to rely a huge amount on your imagination, which when you're acting on your own, there's something a little simpler to that because your imagination is just you and you're reacting to your imagination. But if you're in a scene with a group of people, it's like reading a book. Everyone's imagination is different, right? So you're each reacting to something completely different that you haven't seen necessarily. Sometimes they give you the concept art, which is great, so you know sort of vaguely what you're looking at. But it can be tough. It can be really tough. And now they're bringing in the new system. The Mandalorian kind of started, and we had a little bit of it on Shadowhunters, which is a projection screen that runs around you. So you actually can see what's going on, but it's things like dragons, so you can't, like monsters, so you can't have them really there in real life. So that's very helpful to have, and I prefer that. But the truth is, I think and this is not shitting on Ian McKellen because he's one of my absolute favorite actors in the world, and I understand exactly why that can be so difficult. But also, there's 1,000 guys who look like me, who sound like me, who can do the job that I do, and I got really lucky. And it's difficult for me to complain when I know that this is the dream that I've had since I was 5. This is all I've ever wanted to do, and I'm one of the lucky ones that got to do it. So again, Shadowhunters is a great example of this. You're like battered and bruised and bleeding. You've got to do another couple takes of the fight scene, and like they've just pulled a nail out of your arm that came out of the floorboards, and they're like, "Can you go again?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I can," because one, I want to, and two, because I'm a very lucky guy to be being asked to do it again, to do it at all. I'm very lucky. So yeah, I'll always give you one more take if you ask for it.
I said it before. It's your charisma which is interfering with it.
Yeah.
And by the way, in a few minutes' time, it's your time to shine, ladies and gentlemen, so you can ask questions. There's 2 microphones, so if you want to ask a question, Dominic usually doesn't bite, maybe you do, but so don't hesitate, and please do cue by the microphone. I told you earlier,
yes,
I love your attitude. You're a down-to-earth person, which is really, really helpful for people like us who organize stuff like this. If you could host a dream dinner, and you could invite anybody, alive or dead, 3 people.
3 people.
Not Belgians, because you wouldn't know who to invite.
I wouldn't know anyone.
Who would you invite?
I always thought it was, this is so dark. I always thought, but it's Halloween, so why not? I always thought it would be funny to invite Hannibal Lecter to dinner, but it's a vegan dinner, so he just would be really unhappy the whole time, be really miserable. I think, in truth, like anyone alive or dead, Elvis would be on the list. Jesus, I think. Like, I got questions. I got some questions. I'd be curious to know the answers. Margot Robbie, right? Like, Jesus, Elvis, Margot Robbie sounds like a cool dinner party. Sounds like a lot of fun, yeah.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, your time to shine. A few rules. Speak English only, please. Articulate your question.
You can speak whichever language you want. I just won't know what you're saying. So you can, if you wanted to speak it in ancient Egyptian, give it a go. But it's unlikely I'll be able to answer the question.
And please don't ask for hugs or autographs or Dominic's hotel room number. You can bribe me later on. So the lady on the right, take it away.
Hi Dominic, my name is Camille, and what I would really like to know is what's the biggest prank you pulled on set?
Oh man, okay, there were a few, and then also some of them I shouldn't talk about, because I got in a lot of trouble. And the crux of that trouble was, this isn't a joke, do not talk about these pranks ever again, don't go to conventions and talk about them. It's not Alberto, bless him. It was normally Alberto got the brunt of everything. I did one, which I did get in trouble for, where I photographed my butt, like a bunch of photos of my butt, and I put them everywhere in his trailer, like inside his clothes, like under the toilet seat. There was like 200 of them tucked away everywhere. And then the next day I came into work and I was like, he's gonna see all these photos. And they changed the trailers, and they sent his trailer to another show. So someone got this trailer, some other actor in Toronto got this trailer, opened the door like, what the? And then like would keep finding them. I put them like in drawers. I put them like everywhere you could find. So they would keep finding them wherever it was. So that one I feel a little bad about, because it didn't even get who I wanted it to get. And there you go, that was fun. That was a good one.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Please, hello, person on the left.
Hello, my name is Mirella, and my question is, you were mentioning Shakespeare earlier. If you could play any character from his oeuvre, I don't know how to say that in English, what character would you choose?
Oh, good one. Okay, I was like, is that you? Jesus is coming to the dinner party. So interesting. So Romeo and Juliet's one of my favorites. I know I've always been cast as Romeo, and I think Romeo is such a drip. I think he's such a oh, I'm in love, and two women love me. Like, shut up, dude, shut up. I like Mercutio. I think Mercutio is one of the best characters that Shakespeare's ever written. He's like broken and unhappy, and he deals with all of that by being a Lothario and a drunkard, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I just get it. No, he's this brilliant character who loves deeply and intensely, but is also immensely funny. So I think Mercutio would be right up there for me.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I was convinced you were going to say, I wanted to play Juliet. I was going like, where's that going?
Right, yeah, Juliet. But they used to, that's what they used to do. Back in Shakespeare's time, women were not allowed on stage. So characters like Juliet and Lady Macbeth and all of these iconic female characters were played by young men. True, yeah. Hi.
Hi Dominic, it's such an honor to meet you. You were amazing in Shadowhunters.
Thank you.
My question for you is, do you or anyone else of the cast has a real Shadowhunter tattoo?
Yeah, a lot of us do, and it's my fault. So let me talk you through what happened here. So at the end of season 1, like right at the end of season 1, the day of the wrap party, there's a lot of people in Toronto who were noticing me, which was strange because the show hadn't aired yet, and I sometimes, but not as often as it was happening. I was like, I don't really know what's going on here. And then I saw 4 girls walking with balloons that had 1989, and it clicked for me that Taylor Swift was in town and I was in one of her videos. I was like, oh, so I texted her. I was like, are you performing in Toronto? She was like, yeah, come to the show.
You texted Taylor Swift?
I texted
you got her number and your phone?
I used to, yeah, I used to. So I'm saying, just so you don't steal my phone, I can run off with it. So she invited me to the show. So Alberto and I went to the show, and we got really quite drunk. And then we had to go to the wrap party afterwards. So we snuck out and went to the wrap party. And when the car arrived at the wrap party, Alberto got out on the right-hand side of the car, the wrap party was in there, and I got out on the left-hand side, and there was a tattoo parlor right there. And I went, yeah, I'm getting one. I'm gonna go get one. And I walked in, and I got I'll show you. I got the angelic on the car. I just realized I explained all of that with a mic. Completely useless. So I got that done, and then I went into the wrap party with my leg, in the cling film. And the first person I saw was Alan, also quite drunk. And what's your leg? And I went, I just got a tattoo in there. And he went, I'm getting one. And like 9 of us that night just went over and got this tattoo. And the tattoo artist was really tired, right? And I think he thought he was in like a Matrix loop, that all these people kept coming in, we get that same image, and he was like, what are you talking about? But yeah, 9 of us that night got this same tattoo.
I also have 2 Shadowhunter tattoos.
Hey!
Because I love the show so much.
Oh, well thank you so much, I appreciate that. Great question, thank you. Hi.
Hi. I was wondering, say Shadowhunters had not ended yet.
Yes.
And the writer was asking you to design the next monster. what would you design and what would its name be?
Oh, damn, that's cool. Panic. You know what would be cool? Would be like a reverse Jace. Like looks exactly like me but mirror image and is like, you know, the brown eyes on the other side, whatever, like exactly like that, but he's like completely evil, completely the opposite of Jace. He probably had a nice father, good upbringing, you know. That would be, I always thought those, and I've always liked, like, I'm a big video game nerd, and when you play, like, I know there was a scene like that in Devil May Cry from years ago where there was a reverse Dante, like a negative Dante, and they had to fight each other. That would be a cool one. But that was a crazy question, and I'm freaking out, so I don't think
You're welcome.
But thanks, yeah, it was very good, yeah.
If you want to, you can call Taylor for some help.
Yeah, just let me ring her up. The truth is, this is really embarrassing. Taylor, so there's I have a few like famous names in my phone, and they're all saved under pseudonyms in case I ever lose my phone. And I forgot what Taylor's is, and I have no idea what name she's saved under on my phone. Not a clue.
I'll help you find her.
Yeah, later. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah, absolutely. Hi.
Go ahead.
Hi, Dominic. I also have a music-related question.
Okay.
If your character Jace from Shadowhunters had a Spotify playlist, what would it be called and which songs would be on it?
What would it be called? This is like anything about a happy father-son relationship. Be called Daddy Just Love Me. That's what it would be. God, poor Jace had a really tough time, didn't he? Damn. Yeah, it would be, I honestly, I think it would be something like that. And he'd just like sit on his own in his room and cry. Which I did, that's all I did on the show. It's just like I fought people and then I cried. So it's like a whole career on Shadowhunters. Thanks, great question. Hello.
Hi, I rewatched the Vampire Academy the other day.
Oh yeah.
I was wondering, who do you think would win in a fight? Jace from Shadowhunters or Christian from Vampire Academy?
1000% Jace. 100%. Like Christian from Vampire Academy was such a wimp.
But he has fire energy.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes he could use it. That one time right at the end it was really cool, but he had to get shot first before he could do it. You know what I mean? Like so it's more just like little flames coming up, you know? Jace 100%. Like Christian doesn't, like he lives in the attic, in that like library up in the attic. He doesn't like to hang out with people. Jace 1000% would win that fight. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Good question.
Right, 3 final questions. Take it away.
Lou.
If you could pick just one rule from Shadowhunters to have in real life, which one would you pick?
Oh, I've been asked this before and I have an answer. I know the answer to this. It's the healing one, Aratsi, I think it's called, because you got it already. Because no more hangovers. It's like the easiest one in the world. Like not just like, oh God, I drank way too much. Gone, done, easy, super easy question. And like I'm accident prone as well. Like I totaled my motorcycle about a year ago. That would have been a really lovely thing to have when I'm like my knees swollen like this and like my hands are all broken. I would have been like fixed. And if I could use it on my motorcycle as well, that would have saved me a fortune. This like trash motorbike. So that would be mine. Yeah. Thank you. Hello.
Hi. I was wondering, from the roles that you played, did you ever like notice yourself, like your characters being mixed up? So, for example, something from yourself coming up in a role on the stage.
I try really hard not to. I think that's sort of the key to what we do is trying to separate them as much as possible. And also some of the characters I played weren't very nice people, you know, so I would like to think there was none of me in those you know, Penny Dreadful especially. I'm nothing like him. I think like inevitably there's always going to be a little part of you. Most of my characters look a bit like me, I would say. They all have amazing hair. No, as a general rule I try and avoid keeping myself out of the characters and vice versa. I don't want the characters to come home with me. If we think about just Jace as an example, you know, he went through some real shit, and I don't want to bring that home. I want to be happy when I'm at home. So I have to try and leave it all out there, which is nice because you get this really cool kind of therapy catharsis that exists when I'm at work, which is nice. You know, I can cry at work and come home and be exhausted, but those emotions I left there, which is kind of cool, you know. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you. 3 final quick questions. Okay.
Hi, what's your favorite moment of on the set of Shadowhunters?
Okay, I have 2, so I'll be as quick as I can. The first day when we walked into the institute, that whole thing was a set that they built, and it's always a really cool moment to see that for the first time, because we've read about it. You know, we auditioned for these things for Shadowhunters. I auditioned for 2 months straight before I got the role, and I read the scripts, and this institute place, it sounds really cool. It sounds like a really cool place to be, and going in and seeing it for the first time, what they've built is like, it takes your breath away. It's really amazing. And then this is going to sound dreadful, and it's not how I mean it at all. The last day was like magic. It was the last thing we ever filmed on that show was, spoilers for anyone who hasn't seen it, / the people recording, was Alec and Magnus's wedding. That was the last thing we ever filmed. So the dance, the ballroom, it was all done in the Institute where we started, that same set. We had actors and characters come back from season 1 that we hadn't seen. David was there and Jade was there, Melion and everyone was there. Cast and crew from that have been working with us for 3 years, and we all got to celebrate. I'm getting emotional just talking about it. We got to celebrate and say goodbye to this show that we'd all worked so hard on together, which was really beautiful. So those are my 2.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
Hi. So Shadowhunters ended mid-season, which was, how did you feel about that? That it just ended mid-season?
I think. Oh. Well, you have one job. That's the only thing you're here to do. It was a blow. Like, it was a bummer. We found out. I was traveling with Matt and his wife through Europe, and we were in a nightclub, and I got a phone call, quite drunk, and they were like, "Hey, so this is what's happening. We're going to give you 2 episodes to finish off the show." And I went inside, and I was emotional, and Matt was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "Your phone is going to ring in like 20 seconds." Sure enough, his phone rang. It was the end of the show. And we never really got a reason why. The popularity didn't dip. The popularity still hasn't dipped. It's still going. So I don't know. But also, as I was mentioning earlier, you know, I'm very lucky to have. Most shows don't get past the pilot stage. Like hundreds of thousands of shows every year and do 1 episode and that's it. And then if you're lucky, you get a season. Most shows don't make it past season 1. And then if you're really lucky, you get 2, and we got 3. So it's as much as I wanted to keep doing that show forever, the fact that we got to do 3 seasons and meet all of you and you know, you guys got to watch is something really special to me. So I have to hold on to that, and I will always hold on to that, and Shadowhunters will always be a part of me because of that. Thank you.
Great, thanks.
Final question, make it a good one, no pressure.
No pressure.
What is your favorite moment with your like on-stage siblings?
On set, yeah.
Yeah, on-set siblings.
If you've watched the bloopers, you've seen this scene, but there was a day where Matt and I just could not get it together. Which is like, the bloopers are fun, everyone loves the bloopers, but it is so annoying on a filming day when 2 actors whose only job is to come on and act can't do it. It's like really annoying for the crew to be like, all right, well, this camera's heavy, so, you know, stop being a dick. But that, I don't know what was happening that day, but we just could not stop laughing. And there's something really, like, I've been on shows and movies where it's like breaking, bloopers, corpsing is what it's called, or laughing in between takes, is just not something that happened because we didn't feel comfortable with each other. So that's tough sometimes. And Shadowhunters, we got very lucky that I adore all of those people, you know, and I still do. I was at Matt's wedding. Alberto is one of my dearest friends. Kat as well. Kat, I think, is staying with me in London next week. Like, it's a really special group of people that doesn't always happen. So I couldn't pick one moment. They're all the loves of my life.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I can only realize, Dominic, that many of your anecdotes involve being drunk.
No, 20%.
Okay, now that's all we have time for, so please give it up for Dominic!
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care.